Hi, guys. Welcome and blew dat. I'm Joe, and we blew dat. I'm here to review the Monday Night Football contest between our beloved, bless you boys, the New Orleans Saints, as we travel to Tampa to take on our dreaded foe, NFC South rival, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we blew dat. Final score 17-16. And if you watch the game, you know we blew that. All right, so if you're a Saints fan, especially if you're local, you know what this shirt means. All right, music rising. After Hurricane Katrina, this was an effort to get musical instruments back to musicians who lost everything during Katrina. So I sport this shirt to this day, and we just had Ida here in Homa a couple of years ago last year. And yeah, we've been through some tough times. And if you're an old person, I'm in my 50s, and uh, and you've seen the Saints play for longer than just the Drew Brees era, Sean Payton era, then you know how bad it can get to be a Saints fan. This is a lowly point. Our season as a whole, we're now 4-9. I think at this point, even though mathematically we're still not in it, we're not out of it. I think at this point we can let it go. If you've been a Saints fan this year, you don't know what you're going to get when you're watching the Saints. It's not like a box of chocolates either, because most of it's been pretty crap. The first quarter ends, we're losing 3-0. Can't get anything going on offense. Running game's looking like garbage. And we had already allowed a long initial drive by the Bucs for them to get their 3 points. And it just felt like this is going to be one of them games where I'm just going to suffer watching it. I was tempted to just listen to it on the radio, not even watch the rest of it. You know, when the Saints are playing poorly, sometimes I like to disassociate myself. I still want to know what's happening, but I'll at least cut the visual out and just listen to the radio. You know, it kind of helps a little bit. But, you know, the second quarter started and the offense seemed to get it going. The running game was never working, but Andy Dalton was on point. You had a couple of drops, though. Mm, mm. Nothing can ever go perfect. Something's always got to mess up. Andy Dalton's throwing these perfect passes, and you have Chris Olave drop one. Then you have Jarvis Landry drop one that would have been a touchdown. And I think the game at that point, you know, he makes that catch. And this is a whole other review. But at halftime, we're winning 10-3, and that's great. You know, it felt pretty good. And we kept Tampa Bay stymied on offense the rest of the game. Besides that initial drive that went for 3 points, all they could do was punt, 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 interception. They had one drive with 20 seconds left in the first half. They just knelt on the ball to end the half. They come out again, punt, fumble, punt, punt. The defense shows us in the second and third quarter, hey, we got this team under control. All we have to do is manage a couple of points, and we got this thing. We put up 3 points in the third quarter. We put up 3 points in the fourth quarter. We're up 16-3. At this point, there's 8 minutes left in the game. And I'm thinking we've almost won this game. If Jarvis would have caught that touchdown, yeah, this game might be out of reach. 8 minutes to go in the game. Tampa goes out there, and we stuff them 3 and out. I mean, They burn about a minute off the clock, and they have to punt. At this point, the crowd's about to turn on them. We're getting the ball back, and there's almost 7 minutes left in the game. We can't do anything. We go 3-and-out, punt it back to them. And with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the game, Terrific Tom marches the Bucs down the field, scores a touchdown. We get the ball back. All we have to do is run this clock out. Now, we lose yardage. 3-and-out. Now, the 3-and-out before, we give the ball to Mark Ingram. He'd hurt himself in the game. He went in the blue tent. He came back out. He was the only running back that was kind of effective in the entire game. I guess Dennis Allen felt compelled to put Ingram back in the game. He breaks off a big run, but he runs out of bounds, and there's no one around him. I mean, he can literally fall forward and get the first down, stay in bounds, keep the clock running. At this point, Mark Ingram must have been thinking, wow, I'm hurt so bad that I cannot run another step. I must go out of bounds, which is detrimental to the team. I mean, he was our best runner. He was averaging what, 3.7 yards a carry or whatever, but he was definitely the best runner of the game. He got hurt. He limps out of bounds and right in front of the first down marker. So I don't know what was worse. Jarvis Landry catches that ball. We're up by at least 4 more points. And if Mark Ingram gets that first down, if he gets that first down, we're burning at least 40 more seconds off the clock unless Tampa's forced to use a timeout. One or the other. Oh, let's look at the stats. Andy Dalton, 20 of 28, 229 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. He was sacked twice. Taysom Hill had 1 pass attempt, which he completed for 21 yards. All right, the beginning of the game, Andy Dalton was really good in the first half. He had some drops. It's almost like last week. You're going to hit the guy in the face mask and he doesn't catch it. What is another quarterback going to do? Oh, Andy had a good game up until the third and fourth quarter, where it seemed like, I guess, he was reluctant to take a chance. We had a pretty decent lead. We were moving the ball good. He was being conservative. But there were deep shots to be taken. He hit a bunch in the first half, and I think there were some in the second half. But he tended to pump the brakes. He didn't want to lose the game. We were kind of playing for field goals, and he didn't want to lose the game, which is fine in a defensive battle. As long as the defense is going to keep this up. Hey, when we went up 16-3, I thought that was it. I mean, this is as good as it gets. If the offense can manage a first down in their last 2 drives. Running the ball, Mark Ingram, 7 carries, 27 yards. And that god-awful, I'm so hurt I have to go out of bounds right at the first down marker when I'm trying to run the clock out, and the first down would do so much good for us. So I don't think Mark Ingram should ever see the field again for this team. That's my personal opinion. I think he's done. He's either hurt or he's not producing. Speaking of not producing, Alvin Kamara, 12 carries, 26 yards. He's been pretty bad in the last 3 weeks. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if his heart's out of it now. Watching him sitting on the bench in the second quarter, watching him sitting on the bench with this look on his face like, you're the guy that motivated people a month and a half ago, because you're not motivating anybody sitting on the bench like that. It's the first half hadn't even come yet. We're down 3-0, and you're sitting on the bench defeated. Taysom Hill, 3 carries, 10 yards. Adam Prentice, 1 carry for a first down, 2 yards. Hey, Dalton scrambled once for 1 yard. Rashid Shaheed got a reverse that didn't go anywhere. Overall, we carried the ball 25 times for 66 yards. That's an average of 2.5 yards a carry. So we threw the ball 29 times. We ran the ball 25 times. That's the thing. After the 3 quarters, I was thinking, we're doing just enough to win. The defense is playing stellar, and we're actually out coaching that other team. Well, when you crumble with 8 minutes to go in the game, about 6.5 minutes to go in the game, that's coaching too. That's coaching too. That slant to Callaway when it was 3rd and 1. Receiving, Rashid Shaheed. 4 catches, 75 yards on 4 targets. Shaheed had a great game. Chris Olave, 6 targets, 4 catches, 65 yards. The drop, which the network said was his first drop of the year. No, he's dropped a few. They must have a different a way of going about constituting a drop. Because, when he didn't complete that 1 catch going to the ground, that's a drop. So that's at least 2. Anyway, the national people don't know. And we here in Louisiana, we know all too well. Okay. Taysom Hill, 2 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. Taysom dropped 1 too. Now, he was crushed by 2 people, but he had the ball in his arms. And you're the tight end of choice this game because Juwan Johnson was out. You already caught a touchdown. You only got a total of 5 snaps at quarterback. So this is the only way you're going to really get involved. Adam Troutman, 2 catches, 28 yards on 3 targets. Mark Ingram, 5 catches for 22 yards on 5 targets. Ingram was heavily involved in this game. So it makes me think Kamara might have been hurt a little bit, or the coach was trying to make a point. If you're not going to be effective, Kamara, let's put you on the bench. Ingram, 5 catches, 22 yards. A couple of those catches had got us pretty close to a first down. I mean, it was better than an incompletion. Jarvis Landry, 3 targets, 2 catches, 14 yards. And the target that he didn't catch was a drop. Looked like he was trying to make a one-handed catch. Don't think the defender was holding his arm. We've seen him do it all through practice. Well, that just looked lazy to me. Alvin Kamara on 3 targets had 2 catches for 11 yards. Completely unspectacular. And, of course, Callaway, 1 target, 0 catches on a 3rd and 1. I thought we were going to give it to Adam Prentice again. I was talking about a fullback run last week. Yeah, fullback run would have been better than that slant to Callaway. As far as coaching goes, if Callaway catches the ball, it's a great call. It all works in concert, so let's talk about the defense. They played a great game for almost every drive. The first drive and the last 2 drives were all Tampa needed. Marcus May had 11 total tackles. This was his best game. Season's almost over, but thanks for joining us. Bradley Roby, 8 total tackles, 1 pass defense. Alante Taylor, 8 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass defense. He had an okay game. Caden Ellis, 8 total tackles. Demario Davis, 7 total tackles, 2 passes defended, and an interception. Great interception. First interception we got that wasn't Tyrann Mathieu. Only our third interception of the year. Just pathetic. But good job, Davis. That led to points. Tyrann Mathieu, 5 total tackles, a pass defensed. Carl Granderson has been showing up lately. 4 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and he had a fumble recovery. And I'm talking 20 yards, 25 yards down the field from his position. I mean, great hustle play. Cam Jordan had the highlight hustle play when he forced that fumble. The problem with Jordan is he only had 1 tackle, 1 pass defense. He might have pressured the quarterback a couple of times, but I think when he made that hustle play for a forced fumble, that pretty much took all the gas out of him. Because that stat line is, you make 1 good play and it wins you the game, great. But David Onyemata, 4 tackles. Paulson Adebo, 3 tackles. Malcolm Roach, 3 tackles. Marcus Davenport, 2 tackles, 2 quarterback hits. Passanio, 2 tackles, a half a sack. Shy Tuttle, 1 tackle, a half a sack, 1 pass defense. So overall, we had 1 total sack. We allowed 2. Okay. The Bucks ran the ball 20 times for 76 yards, an average of 3.8. Their running game was non-existent. They ended up throwing the ball 54 times and running it 20. And most of that yardage came late. Just like the first time we played him this year, Fournette had his best gains in the fourth quarter when, obviously the defense is worn out. Nobody wants to tackle the big man anymore. Fournette ends up with 10 carries for 49 yards, 4.9 yard average. And like I said, it was mostly in the fourth quarter. Rashad White also had 9 carries for 28 yards. That's 3.1 yards. We shut their run out for most of the game, and it kind of left them one-dimensional. But that one dimension worked pretty good. And those last 2 drives, they ran the ball a couple of times too. They just killed us on those last 2 drives. It's like the defense didn't think they had a play in them because they didn't. Third downs, we convert 5 out of 14. They convert 8 out of 15. Total plays, they had 75. We had 56. Red zone, we went 0 for 3. And they went 2 for 3. Penalties hurt us. They came at really awful times. Overall, we had 6 for 84 yards. The big one was the 40-something yard pass interference on Paulson Adebo, which set the Bucks up for their first touchdown in that last quarter. When we fell apart in the fourth quarter, everybody fell apart. First downs, they had 25. We had 14. Yeah, pretty crappy. So overall, the player of the game, Rashid Shaheed, he has about 164 all-purpose yards because he was great on returns. He had 1 kick return for 30 yards. He had 2 punt returns for 59 yards. Not to mention the 75 yards receiving, 4 targets, 4 catches. Shaheed outshone everyone on the field today for the Saints, especially Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. Our running game sucks. Alvin Kamara, right now, sucks. He's only averaging about 2.5 yards a carry in the last 3-4 games, and he's our best player. He fumbles twice last week. Can't get nothing going this week. It's always something. I've been complaining we don't give the ball enough to Taysom and the Kamara. Well, I understand why Kamara ended up, let's see, he had 12 carries and 2 catches, so 14 touches. That's not enough for Kamara, but when he's producing like he is, I can understand why he only got 14 touches. Taysom Hill, I think he handed the ball off once under center or at quarterback. So altogether, he had 5, 6, about 7 to 8 touches maybe to do something. That's half as much as he needs. And usually this is what I'm saying. We need to get Hill and Kamara the ball all the time. Well, Dalton was on point this week. So it didn't feel the same like when we weren't forcing it to Hill and Kamara. We were still doing stuff. So it didn't feel as bad. But to me, Kamara and Hill are our best playmakers. And once again, they're not involved enough. But if Kamara's going to keep playing like this, making $17, $20 million a year, I mean, we might as well. We might as well trade him. The only other thing I'm going to say about this game, Tom Brady, prime time, sets the record for most fourth quarter comebacks in NFL history. It almost feels like when you're stuck with when a network is stuck with a primetime game between two losing teams that aren't very thrilling, you have to manufacture something. I'm not saying that everybody did this on purpose. I'm just saying that the advertisers got what they wanted, the network got what they wanted, the league got what they wanted, the referees helped, and it felt like they helped. And you take that for what it's worth. Congratulations, terrific Tom. I sure hope Sean Payton doesn't become our head coach next year and brings Tom Brady. Because I like not liking Tom Brady. And I would hate to have to like him because he would be stuck being our quarterback. That's it for me right now. 17-16, heartbreaking, schizophrenic. After the first quarter, I thought, I don't even know if I want to waste my time watching this game. After the second quarter, I thought, things are going our way. After the third quarter, I thought, we might actually win this game. And with 5.5 or let's say 6.5 minutes to go, I thought, a couple of first downs and this game's ours. Great job. 16-3. Great job. No. No. We suck. We blow. You ever seen Spaceballs when the ship turns into the maid with the vacuum and at first it sucks the air out and then it's Schwartz and all of a sudden we blow the air back in? Just like the Saints. We suck. We blow. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10 for more videos like this. God bless us all. God bless you boys. I hope Gail Benson does something in the offseason that turns this team around. And until then, blew that.